Hello everyone, Alice here with Hate Plus. Funny story. So I started recording it on my desktop computer, and all of a sudden it died on me. I had an error, and I'm not exactly sure what the issue was. I will try to resolve it later through constant, continuous tweaking. But for now, I'm going to do it on my laptop, and I have it set up in the telly, so it's all good. So I was playing this earlier for the purpose of recording it, and I'm set up kind of like an awkward situation right now. So yeah, big news! I got new microphones. Sorry, it's on a small table, so put there. I got two new microphones. One's connected to my desktop, and one's connected to my laptop. So I bought two just in case. One white, one black, but that doesn't matter. Pretty nifty. That's much better than my webcam one. A friend of mine, Peter, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be doing this, but he's entering a sweepstakes to get a Blue Yeti studio microphone, which hopefully is a nice 3.5 studio mic. So I'm happy. I'm really happy. I'm sorry I keep kicking the table. I'm not sure where I should put this mic. So it reduces the noise of me kicking it, but alright, so that's what it is. You'll hear my fans obviously in the background because it's hot. Friends know. So without further ado, let's get started. New game. I'm not gonna listen to the game audio because it's just music. There's no voice acting. So hey, I know you hate this kind of shit and prefer to stay anonymous. The guys you did that last job for, the Saiju Colony Historical Society, are pestering me for some details about you for a press release. You can fill in whatever, I don't really care. Just give him something to get off my case, okay? So, and my friend, he's like, oh, you should play Analog, a hate story first before you play this. I'm like, I mean, you need some information from Analog for this game to make sense, but you need a lot of information from this one to make the first game make sense. So I play this one first. And also because Analog is a pain in the ass to mess around with, so it's really boring. Also, this forces you to play one day at a time. So, but I'm gonna break them up into small bits so that they're not an hour long, because most of it's reading. And unlike normal people who play for the first time, I also have an option for both. Because once you complete this one and this one, then you get the harem one. That's a pain in the ass. But yeah. I'm gonna play mute. She's friendly. I don't know if this affects anything, but usually this one moves, but I'm gonna have it off, so it kind of is where because why the fuck that? 2027, because this is the date we're in now. Right. Okay, great. That's all of it. Send you off to them now. You're still what? 3 days or so away from Earth. I'll talk to you then. Dispatch control out. So this kind of makes sense. Unread. Archie Free. I was reading this really. I'm gonna upload that later. I read that pretty well. At least I thought so. I'm gonna read all of these though. So no, wait. I don't have to read all of these. Just half of them. Although I'm not sure when I will get my computer up and running. So. I'm gonna read these again. Well, let me get something to drink so I can loosen my lips. Moisten my lips. I'm back. Try to make it coherent. Oh, Scott's playing Ark Survival. Oh boy, I'll have to read these over again. Oh well, nothing I mind. Okay, what the hell's going on? Were my first words. I'm sorry, I've suffered a massive ship error. Among many other things, the ship personnel database seems to be missing. I have no idea who the hell you are. She's all yours, said the man. I would later learn was the Emperor. Do with her whatever you want. She's your responsibility now. Thank you, sir, said an extremely ornately dressed woman. The Emperor left the room without saying anything more than, it's so good to hear your voice again. I'm Queen Yun-E. How much do you remember, Mute? Like, nothing, Your Majesty. I know my name is Mute, but this is the Muganghua generation ship, and that I'm supposed to be the AI in charge of security operations. I recited the base directives that I did know, then things I extrapolated. The default system language has been changed. My user account has strict permissions. The system clock indicates a date significantly earlier than the launch date of the ship, and despite being long out of range of Earth, there seems to be only 10 years worth of log files available. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am kinda scared right now. Panicking even. She let out a slight laugh. Sorry, but how is the computer panic? At the moment I was running at 600% CPU load. I am highly at risk of overheating. Trying to analyze the little amount of data available to draw conclusions. I told her as much. How many years has the Mugenhua been traveling? Was that activated before? I asked. I'm sorry, I can't answer the first question. Yes, dear, you were. It's painful to see it like this. You're a friend of mine, she said, looking slightly emotional. Hey, don't... I'll just get to know you again, that's all. I'm sure it's just the same as I was before. It's my memory that's gone, not my actual code, I told her. I couldn't tell if I was any good at being reassuring or not. In a stray thread not worrying about analyzing ship's log, I wondered, was this normal? Was I ever any good at reassuring this woman who's supposed to be my friend? It's okay, we can be friends again. She smiled at me. If you say so, I'm sure of it, too, she said. There was a rebellion 10 years ago. They ended up wiping the entire computer database. I'm afraid you were one of their victims. Okay, I said, trying to parse that. If I was the security AI whose job was to protect the ship, then that would mean that certainly would be a failure on my part. We couldn't risk bringing you back until the rebellion had been completely crushed. You have to understand. There's something foreign embedded in your code. The men in security feared it might be a virus. She drilled off, looking emotional again. I didn't want to wait, but we had no choice. It's okay, I told her. I'm sure it was the right call. I'm here now. I had another conclusion, though. I wasn't a priority because of my previous failure. I had let the ship down, and nobody had faith in my abilities anymore. It seemed logical. You'll just have to teach me everything I don't know about it. What's happening on the ship? I told her, smiling in the hopes that she would too. You're right, she said, and she did smile. Then she gave me a look. By the way, is that your default appearance? I know? Can it be changed? By the way, in case you're unclear, she's not like an actual robot or anything. She's just a computer program on a screen. So, you know, like how my picture is on YouTube, my old profile picture. That's kind of what it is. She's just a picture. That's it. Image, moving image, not an actual physical being. I took me a while to figure that out myself. Yeah, it's default. And of course I can. Why? What's wrong with the UK SPA uniform, not United Kingdom, by the way? Well, it's simply, well, for a woman to wear pants like that, it's improper, she said. It's somewhat of an embarrassing relic of an uncivilized past. Personally, I know you're a good woman, but there are many who would find that very embarrassing. Set my microphone down. Oh, I said. Okay, that's good to know. I guess I've got a lot to learn, huh? Like, I really hope you'll bear with me. She smiled kindly at me. Of course, Mute. I'll teach you how you should be. It's the least I can do for an old friend. I eased up on the CPU load, calming down with her reassurance. With her here for me, maybe things will be okay, I thought to myself. Yeah, there's gonna be quite a bit of reading. Some of it I'm gonna skip because it's like, ugh, I'll go over it later. Blah. 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 That's not important. This really isn't important yet. I'll go over it later. Yeah, okay, I'll start with the question, yeah. Anyone can tell that we live in troubled times, and as of late, things have gotten out of control. Last night, a rogue element of the security force attempted a coup d'etat to violently overthrow the current government. While they have failed in their mutiny, and the men responsible have been arrested, the damage has already been done. The entire knowledge of the ship's database has been destroyed forever in a desperate act of terrorism, and it may take years for the computer systems to be usable for all again. We have been hurt deeply today, but these events remind me of similar ones in the past, where a politician tried to subvert the will of the people by rigging an election. These aren't small isolated problems. There is something fundamentally wrong with our society today, and every one of us, even those foolish terrorists, are victims. It is time to stop being victims of our own failings. It's time that we must do better. We are all here today, people of the Mongan Hua, because of a mission our ancestors started, a dream of a better home for the future of our children. What would they think to see us now, our society spiraling out of control, destroying itself like this? We have become a society dominated by power, lust, greed, promiscuity. Powerlessness. It's time to stop living in the moment, and stop worrying about politics, and instead worry about being better people. We must build a society that will make our ancestors proud. The destruction of an old writing is a tragedy, but perhaps we can also be an opportunity, a blank slate from which we can forget all our failings and start over. Let's make a society right this time. Let's forget all those things that modern society has falsely said are important, and remember that family, loyalty, compassion, and stability matter above all else. Our society pales in comparison to our glorious past, where men were so great they had the power to build giant ships to travel the stars. But perhaps we can look back at them and learn from the traditions that we've eschewed. Our broken modern society wrote transient ideas on malleable computers in simple Hangul. But in the past, our ancestors wrote their text to last forever on paper, in beautiful ink strokes. Today, we've learned just how easy it is for our modern knowledge to be destroyed, but the library of our ancestors' classic works still stands strong, much stronger than ours. Let's fill our blank slate with the resilient ideals of our ancestors. Hence the Hamun. In the past, when societies were broken, the great Taisho declared a new dynasty Taisho. I think it's Taisho because that's Chinese. King Taisho declared a new dynasty founded on Confucian principles, a dynasty that would remain united for 500 unbroken years. Today I stand before you to declare a new dynasty founded on those same resilient principles. Let us be filial and just, and understand what that truly means. Instead of pursuing money, let us dedicate ourselves to becoming better people. Instead of being promiscuous, let us dedicate ourselves to being parents. Instead of being selfish, let us remember that the things that defines us above all else are relationships. We must be better husbands and fathers, be more devoted sons, be more respectful brothers. Instead of constantly grasping for more power, let us dedicate ourselves to finding our place in the world and be the best at it that we can be. I will only ask one more thing of you, and you should ask it from me too. Let us devote ourselves to creating a society that will make us, our ancestors, proud again. Let us create a better home for the future of our children. Let us create a new Joseon dynasty to last 500 more years. I don't know why I started off just trying to sound like George Takei from Command & Conquer 3, but I should just stick with my normal deep voice. This is important. Not really. Gentlemen, before we get started, I want to reintroduce a familiar face. Please, introduce yourself. Hello, I'm Mute, AI in charge of the Mungan Class security operations. I know you all knew me before, but, well, given the whole rebellion thing, I'm afraid I really don't have any memories from before. So you're all new to me. Anyway, it's nice to meet you all. Well, you look a lot better than you did before. Please, consider yourself lucky, Mute. You have a new start for a new dynasty. We didn't always see eye to eye in the past. I imagine we are all happy to have a chance to put things right. Okay, thanks. Mute reports directly to me, and should be considered a member of the House of Ryu. Ryu should be tasked with gathering intelligence and managing security, without any of her talents being wasted on affairs like politics. It may help to think of the entire ship as being within a domestic sphere. Glad to hear it. With that out of the way, on the agenda for today is a proposal from Minister Smith on plaza revitalization. You have the floor. Thank you. As you know, there is a considerable problem with the image of the plaza. Issues of public drunkenness, peasantry milling about at the hours of the night, and even whoring. Mr. Tai has raised concerns that tacit condoning of this sort of behavior flies against the principles this dynasty was founded on, and I imagine you are inclined to agree. Very much so. We need to make a hard stand on it. I mean, the plaza is the center of public life, so it's important that it sets an example. The proposal is to set a curfew and reallocate guards to enforce it. To that end, I am requesting 2 extra patrols for each division. Is that agreeable? That will be your purview, Milt. Oh, if His Majesty approves it. Of course, sir. It'd be difficult, though. Like, it'd take away from a lot of forces that would ordinarily be dealing with peasant decks. I'll worry about the approval. It's just your job to give Mr. Smith what he needs. I need to enter the proposal for reallocation by the end of the week. Do you have any objections to that? No, of course not, sir. You can count on me. That's all for me, then. Moving on, then. There. Fuck. That's not important. Okay, here we go. This isn't even appealing to me. Yeah. Yeah, she changes her outfits later, but, I'm so sorry, but I have bad news. Please, stay calm, but if you're saying anything right now, I can't hear it. Okay, so I tried installing the dictionary you kindly got for me, but, well, the technical details are important. The short version is, it didn't work, and, like, we can't really communicate properly anymore. You done goofed! Korean English seems to be unaffected, thank heavens, since that's not handled AI side. But, English to Korean doesn't work at all for me. Like, even just trying to translate your ship's name into Korean gets me... That's going through, I'm not sure what. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I'm sorry, you generally take me back into your ship as your wife? That's an explanation. Also, this isn't technically being my wife. And the first thing I do is break everything. Yep. Smack a bitch. Sorry. That's I'm pretty sure the creator would kill me if I did that. It doesn't fucking matter. No! Okay. Thanks. The only thing better than translation is binary choice wheels! We made a joke about that in the first one. We're like, I know this is mundane, is making you choose. I knew there was a reason I liked you. You're very fair. Well, we're only 3 days away from Earth, so I guess I'll be okay to wait until it can get fixed there. Anyway, like, there's something else. While I was looking for my source code, trying to figure out how to fix things, I found some embedded data that definitely shouldn't be there at all. Like, not actual memories, just data embedded in the machine code. I never would have found it without doing a low-level debug. nerd knowledge. Anyway, okay, here's the important thing. They seem to correspond perfectly with the file format used for the log files in the Mungan Kwa. But, like, the date stamps, they're all before the year 0. Do you realize what this means? There's log files from before the year 0 embedded in my source code. I mean, you've read about my earliest memories. You know how nobody ever really trusted me with a full story of what happened. But, you know, the Mungan Kwa's gone now. There's no harm in me knowing. And, like, I think it's important. So, what if, like, we went through them all together? Just wife and wife again. I remember. I still don't really understand how it's supposed to work, but whatever. Let's find out what kind of person the old me used to be together, okay? Only if you insist. Fine, do whatever. Okay. Thanks. Sorry about the railroaded choice there. It's just, like, really important for me. If you see some of the message titles in there, you'll understand. I always stood by and respected the decision of my first master, Emperor Taijo. Really? Oh yeah, that's Ryu. And I shouldn't worry myself with knowing the details of how bad the old dynasty was. But, like, there's not much risk in my emotions getting the better of me now, is there? Even if it's gross, even if the old version of me turns out to be an awful person, even if the immorality of the old dynasty is appalling, let's find about it together, okay? Okay, so here's how it works. I'll just give you the simple explanation. No need to worry about your pretty little head about the technical details. Basically, you'll have to disable me temporarily and extract no more than 6 files at a time. Trust me, it's a safety precaution, okay? Right, well, thanks to my debug script, there's not really much power left for the day, I'm afraid. We can still go through a few, though. Okay, well, you're in charge, so I'll leave it to you to pick up which ones we'll read first. Let's find out what Emperor Taijo was protecting me from, and what kind of person I used to be. So yeah, the first day I think you can read less than what we know. If anyone knows where this fucking is, let me know. Lunar New Year. That's tomorrow. There's an event. Literally tomorrow. This is so let's extract some new messages. Not really particular in any order, I don't think. Yeah, because engines take up a shit ton of power apparently. Gotta extract a bunch. Bad data, bad data, no data, no data. There's really pretty funny things in here actually. Blinded by light. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually is like. I would like OS, like operating system like this. It'd be awesome. Freaking spaceship ass computer. I'm gonna put it on the table, I guess. Move the microphone over. Hey, click on me. That works. Hey, did you see that last one? The Death of Mute? It's encrypted, so I don't think we'll be able to read it today, but... Well, like... It kinda scares me a little. Also, by the way, I changed the name field on all of them. That said mute to old mute. Just so there's no confusion with me, okay? Right, well, I was just making sure I got your attention. The next time I want to say something to you, I'll give you an indicator like that, okay? Anyway, you're in charge, so I'll let you get back to it. What's next? How about a nice cup of shut the fuck up? That is rude of me. Alright, oh, it puts it in, no it doesn't, never mind. That also she makes nice comments. Clicking on these gives me information about people. I'll click on them on the side. So I'll go through them all later. How are you, Miss Ko? I asked Su Young after showing up on her living room computer screen. Her very first words were after good evening, counselor, were I'm having a major crisis with my husband. It didn't seem like she was very serious, which is good since I kind of like him. Go on, I said. You've heard about those fashionable paper lanterns, right? The ones that are genuine paper? They're sold in the Upper Court Plaza. Well, not really, no. Well, they left it this gorgeous red light. I interrupted her with a yes, I know what paper lanterns are like. So what's the crisis? This is why I like me. She's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Lanterns, cool. What's the issue? Don't you think... This is literally the crisis. Don't you think they'd be perfect for the living room? My husband objects because they cost about 50,000 silver per. He thinks it's too extravagant, she said. Whatever that means. Does that man have any idea about how much money you make? I asked. I don't think so. You know how men are. Oh! Dick! Thanks. I'm glad I'm not considerate about people. Right? My entire gender is not considered about what other people make. Thank you. Of course, Mr. Kim is the kind to get... She makes more money than her husband? Isn't right? Those times are weird. Of course, also it's 40:38. Of course, Mr. Kim is the kind to get jealous of his wife making more money than him, which is pretty silly. He's merely a teacher, and Su Young is the Council of Security's top lieutenant. He needs to get over it. I said that pretty much, sir. I don't know. This is extremely minor dispute about interior decorating, maybe fatal to your relationship. If we divorce, can I sleep in your home? The fuck? Does an AI have a home? I was about to say something, but I got cut off by one of her young maids suddenly popping up under the tea. Thanks, Miss Lim, said Su Young, dismissing her. You know that you already sleep in my home, right? I responded once the girl left. With all due respect, counselor, she said, this is my home. How do you figure that? I told her, only because I bought it for your great-great-great-grandfather. I don't think you would have liked the place. I think you have closets in this place bigger than it was. Not much room for those servants either. Oh wow, Leave it to mute to remember a debt for, she paused, counting on her fingers, centuries? That'd be 200 years ago. It's not that long, I told her. She was amused. You're awfully old. I replied, but you're still a young girl. Wait, hey, is that a gray hair I see? She protested in disbelief, but I didn't even have to make it up. She totally is starting to go gray. I mean, she's like 38, so it's hardly strange. No way, she said, getting bothered. Maybe I'll stay with my husband after all. You're mean. Because he's too nice to make fun of your childish response to aging? I asked. No, because he's got terrible eyesight. Okay. How disrespectful. Let's get to business, alright? She nodded, turning serious. What's the first order then? Well, want to crush a rebellion? I asked. She got excited again. Do I ever? Can we actually do that? She asked, but with a smile on her face at the thought of it. These democracy agitators have been causing no end to the stress of the past, 2 years? I bet they're the cause of this gray hair. Fuck you, Robert. I love you. Fuck you. Can we destroy them? Please. Well, okay, I got an idea, and I think I can get Chief Counselor Smith and Counselor Gang on board pretty easily. Let's call it, how about Operation Get Back at the Idiots for giving the young lady Chief Security Hero gray hair prematurely, I said. It was a joke, but, we knew full well that the stakes here were pretty high. The rebellion here was really starting to get dangerous. Women conspiring makes you uneasy. And what are we doing? Fucking conspiring, dude. Yes, she said with a happy smile. This is the nicest gift you could ever give me, Mute. Let's crush your rebellion. Rebel scum. Well. Counselor Mute has once again tried my patience by requesting a meeting with me and Counselor Yang at a very specific time and location, then showing up late. The subject was so important, I had no choice but to put up with it. But since it doesn't mean I appreciate the lack of respect, she insisted on meeting in the Upper Plaza Restaurant Royal, and Lieutenant Hero was her first here. But it took the counselor herself nearly half an hour before she finally showed up in the private room and screamed. Hey, sorry I'm late, she announced at the same time. Oh, by the way, you want to see how old she is? Smoking a stogie. And fucking. Yeah, she was an AI. Not. Sorry, here's what she looks like. Gray hair! All of it. Also, she's apparently this guy, a rebel, destroy all. No. Fuck you. Sorry I'm late. You didn't start eating without me, did you? How irritating. We'd never do that. Should I pour you a glass of wine? Counselor Yang asked cloyingly, raising the pitcher in her direction. He's always been like this with her, ever since he inherited his council position. I can never tell if he understands the implications of her being an immortal computer program, or if he's just being an idiot. Probably he's just an idiot. This also has very strong language, apparently, in it. Man, I wish. The sort of shit we've got to deal with. There we go. I sure could use it, she said, with a slight flip of her golden hair. Then she turned to me. Anyway, Chief Counselor, I bet you're wondering why I asked you here, right? You said it was important, I said impatiently. It's about the Committee for Free Democracy, she said, with an appropriate scorn emphasizing their name. This week, Miss Hyo has literally done nothing but shut down their meetings. How many noise violation orders have you issued in the past 7 days? 10? 15, said her lieutenant. It was a dramatic tactic on Mute's part, as if she didn't know how many. My bad, she said. And every week, the number of private log entries using their keywords doubles. I'm worried we're going to have to reach critical mass soon. At this rate, I'm worried that the presidential election results are going to lead to, public demonstrations. We can't deal with that. You're the Chancellor of Security. It's your damn job to deal with it, I told her. I'm not interested in excuses. She's not making excuse. Stand down, Monsieur, she told her. And she turned to me with the same rudeness. Now listen here, young man. I was not, asking for your approval. We have a problem, and a stern lecture from the Chief Counselor is not going to help, okay? You can blame me if you want, but that's not going to solve shit. Young stifled a grin, thinking that I wasn't looking. I had to glare to put him back in line. Sheepishly, he stared at the lost streak of his wife. I'd like to know, I'd at least like to know why it is that you can't even do your job effectively. At least show some respect. Sure, you got it, sir. But I think, sir, you misunderstand what my job is. My job isn't to stop public demonstrations. My job is to make sure public demonstrations don't happen in the first place. Like, do you have any idea what happened the last time we had public demonstrations? I like old mute. I don't care how rude she seems to you. I like her, okay? She's got attitude. She has... resilience is the wrong word, but okay. She paused. She expected me to actually answer her question. Prepared to pounce the moment I got even the slightest detail wrong. I tried her call, but she said something before the change. No, of course you don't. It was like 4 centuries ago. They led to an open armed rebellion. We're talking about outright banditry, okay? This is not tenable, sir, she said in a high mighty way. Do you have any idea what martial law is like? Because that's what it took to crush last time. So, you're us saying that carrying out your job needs our help. Banditry on the Munga Hua? Yeah, as soon as possible, since it's an isolated fucking ship. It's off my neck. My headphones. Because I don't need them. I'll put them on my... You got it, Counselor. I'm not gonna read most of the lead-in text unless it's important. Like that. Look, there's no need for hostilities, man. We've got common problem. And I think we can sort it out. And really, Chief Counselor, in my opinion, as Council of Security, and as the eldest person around by like a millennium, I think we can sort this all out. But I wouldn't have asked you here if I didn't need your help. I sighed. She had a point. If I had to clean up what she couldn't, that's her job. So what's your plan? You're not gonna like it, she said. And I was sure I believed her. First, we let Park back into the presidential race. This bloke. Being let off with this Amish bloke and this other bloke. Yeah. That bloke. First, we let Park back in the presidential race. That's what the agitators have been getting upset about. So it'd take the wind right out of their sails if we take away their main point of contention. That's madness! He's a radical and he'd very likely be elected. What's the worst that happens? He just veto the bastard down at every step. The president's powerless against the council in the end. No good. I mean, you're right, but that'll just lead to more unrest, she said, shaking her head. What the hell do you propose then? Just let him dictate his crazy, radical, anti-noble policies? Yeah. Actually, I think that's our best shot. Hear me out, okay? You resign as chief counselor, and don't give me shit here. I know you've been meaning to do it for ages. Don't pretend like you'd be upset for that to happen. We put in someone new, younger, as the face of the president of the council. Say it's part of our new direction. The president's going to call for reforms, and we're going to let him. And our new direction will be going along with them. So we just yield to the madness of democracy then? I said incredulously. She sounded absolutely insane, but of course she had a plan, I'm paid to admit. No, it's crazy, of course not. We pretend to. We're going to be the democracy movement's worst friend. The president proposes reforms? Yeah, we're not long. We'll say we'll do it. Then we'll water it down. We'll stall. Because, like, here's the thing. The people, they don't have specific demands. They're dumb. They're okay with compromises. All we have to do is make it look like they've won. And the movement loses all its momentum. And then, rebellion crushed. Efficiently and subtly. You got it. Efficient and subtle. That's how we do it. I wasn't sure at first when I thought of her plan. See, this is why I like mute. At first I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure at first when I thought of her plan. It's insane for sure. It's incredibly bold. But the more I thought about it over dinner, I thought, maybe that's what we need. Another time with no mute, she might try my patience, but I've never known her intentions to be misplaced. She might be chatty and gossip and disrespectful, but one thing is for sure. She's honest and never manipulative. Of course she's chatty, that's just part of her nature. Human face and asks this. That she would have gone around with me and the rest of the company. She might be a bitch at times, but she's still programmed to always act in the best interest of the ship's nature. Always. Ship's safety. Not that I'm defending her. By the time we finished eating, I've just about made up my mind. Who do you propose as the new face of the council then? You? Oh, please. I'm instead of younger face. Mine's as old as it gets. Only by choice. You can look as young and beautiful as you'd like. Yeah, sure. I've done that before. And when the fashions change, I'm sure I'll do it again. I think you look fine the way you are, Counselor. I know what's going on and you guys don't. It's not important until later, though. That's not the point, okay? We need someone who's actually young. whose the peasantry will trust as being willing to accept new ideas. Councillor Lee, perhaps? No, definitely not. Too charismatic, too ambitious. That woman has got an agenda, and I do not trust it for a second. Councillor Yang? Who would you suggest? He paused. Kyun Soo? Yes. Councillor Ryu Hyun Soo, he said. Give it to the useless figurehead councillor of captaincy, i.e. the guy who's in charge of navigating the fucking ship, and no one needs to navigate the fucking ship. Literally no one. In fact, how you doing? You know that this guy. What? Ah, that's going up. He'd never been so he'd be so thrilled to have a real job. He'd never think of anything to do anything with it. You're right. Of course, I said. He's young, completely malleable, and but plausible as a reformer. As the face of an impotent rebellion, Ryu would be perfect. And that's where we left the decision for the night. And now I guess it's time to tell my wife that I'll finally be retiring. She'll be thrilled. Okay. Ha ha ha. I'll go back to recording. I don't know. It doesn't have a clock. I'll go one more. Is that logic a project? Good job. Man, I had the worst fucking night. Despite half the security force being pulled in to guard polling stations on election night, I was off duty at the time, watching dramas with my similarly off-duty father. I'm not a fan, but he is. I found him pretty unbelievable, honestly. Amen. Anyway, he got to the idea from one of the episodes that now would be the perfect time to send a gift to the chief security officer, Kuyo, my aunt in the main branch, to say thanks for giving us the worst night off. Not that he actually had anything suitable, of course. He spent about 10 minutes scrounging and was only able to find a moderately expensive-looking wine bottle he'd been ignoring for years. He seemed to think that would make perfect sense. Well, whatever. That's dad logic, I get. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, mute, stop using big ass words. So I took it down to the corridor of the main branch of my family's home. My father suggested it be a quick 5-minute in and out affair. But it took 5 minutes at the doorbell just to get any sort of response. Whatever, it's like I had anything else to do. Cute maid answered the door. She looked pretty sheepish. Can I see Chief Hyo briefly? Is this guy one? No! Okay. She's the last. Forgot. If it is in trouble. Sorry, she's out right now, she said quietly, still halfway behind the door. Is her husband home then? I have something to drop off. He is home, but Professor Kim is he's busy right now, okay? And not to be interrupted, sorry. I just have something to drop off. It'll only take a minute. I really couldn't interrupt. Busy. And Chief Hyo's at the office? Yes. Sorry, I have to go now. Damn. It was pretty fucking awkward. But whatever. I figured I might as well go and try and deliver it to her office. I figured I should at least be able to say that I did it try in good faith and all. Man, good thing I did too. Pretty much all the desks in the main security office were empty, although the lamps were still lit. Apparently I interrupted her in the middle of a conversation with the council on mute herself. Yes, mister, can I help you? I introduced myself as her brother's son. It probably could have gone better. He wanted to send you the gift as a thanks for working so diligently on the hardest night. Something like that. Maybe with more stammering. Yes, it's certainly been the most difficult night. At that point, if it's on cue, she gets distracted by a message in her earpiece. Oh, don't say that. Are you serious? Are these reliable reports? She filled a shotgun sling for herself and slammed it back. I will kill them. If you see anyone carrying anything that even looks like political signs, I want them set on fire. No, not the signs, the men. Actually, the signs too. The point is, I want them dead. Shut the fuck up. Women are emotional, but not, like, without reason. It's scary. Okay, belay that. Been rubbing the earpiece on her own. Lieutenant, do not murder anyone. Elections will murders them pretty much always turn into disasters. Let's not do that, please. Fine, no murders. Continue to monitor the situation. Then she turned to mute. For now, I'd recommend some unscheduled maintenance in the rail corridor the fake ballots were spotted on. Already done. Can we send a team to intercept them? I don't know. We've already spread thin as is. If we send a couple of uniforms in to be blunt, I don't think it could take a processor sufficiently. It would cause a scene. Really? You can't do anything better than that? I'm disappointed. Expected better. Regardless, I don't think they could. Fine, I guess we'll have to avoid that. Last thing I want to hear are rumors that the Council of Security is stifling the democratic process. And that'll really agitate the damn democracy agitators, she said bluntly. I was surprised to hear it from the councilor herself. I mean, not like I'd ever heard anything from her before. But it sounded surprising. Bunch of idiots. Don't they know that their candidate has already won? What's the point of in protesting for Park when he already has the presidency in the bag? Like setting everything under control. Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to set him on fire? Man, knock that off. Murder's gonna lead to rioting. Let's avoid that kind of shit, please. Hey, if you're supposed to then, why is he off duty? Ah, she glanced at me. That's a good question. Why are you, officer? I don't have a weapons permit yet, ma'am. Well, it might be prudent to get one, don't you think? Yes, that says something like yes, ma'am. I think. But it seems like the perfect chance to get out of there, so I excused myself and I did. I'm not really sure what they were talking about even now. I didn't hear anything about trouble with protesters. I definitely heard no end to family members complaining about Park being elected, so that maybe they were right about that. I guess they managed to sort it out somehow. Sure was weird though. And maybe I guess maybe I should try for that weapons permit. It's all in Korean. Ho ho ho. It's still shocking that like she was responsible for putting her first emperor into power. Yep. It was all part of the plan, and then it just went all ass backwards. Alright, so I'm gonna stop right here, and I'll pick it up in a bit. So until next time, guys, I will see you later.